Cardiff Council were encouraging and controlling that. The developers were profiting, and that's exactly what it is. You see the banks of the Taff are strewn in sewage and wet white sand, our national. And we are just here to make people realise the government and the councils and Welsh Water want to make things worse, not better. They're trying to suppress the fact that the sewage goes straight into the Taff. In 2021, 18,000 hours of combined storm overflows, raw sewage went into this beautiful river and ended up in our beautiful seas. So this is our crime scene for today, and there are many, many thousands of crime scenes all over the country.
Passing off his left side to you.
Thank you. I'll join you with you.
So my name's Pip, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm a local resident. I walk in this park a lot, and I'm also here today representing Extinction Rebellion, because this is a national campaign they are running called Dirty Water. This is a problem that is happening all around the UK. This campaign has come about because climate change is increasing the likelihood of heavy or intense rainfall all across the UK, particularly in the winter, as we can see. And this is leading to much higher risks of surface water flooding, which in turn increases the pressure on our antiquated and underfunded water and sewage systems. So due to a lack of regulations and legislation, water companies are using this as an excuse to pump pollution into our waterways more and more frequently. It should just be an emergency measure, but it's just happening commonplace now. Seems to be cutting corners everywhere. So we're here just to shine a light on the problem and demand that both the government and those responsible for the pollution urgently fix it and make our waters safe again for people, plants and wildlife. We're here specifically in Hailey Park because the River Taff is one of the 6 worst polluted rivers in the UK. 6 worst polluted. 5 of them are in Wales. In the whole of the UK, that river right there, is in the top 6. That's how bad it is. In 2021, Welsh Water dumped raw sewage into the River Taff for a total of 14,787 hours. It's a lot to get your head around. The reason why it's so high is because that's happening at multiple locations all along the River Taff. In total, just imagine this now, it's 886 100,000 minutes. So I want you just to imagine now for a second, you can hear the water running behind us. Just imagine that's sewage, and just think 886 100,000 minutes of sewage flowing down that river. Yeah. Welsh Water proudly state that they are not for profit. It's on the side of all their vans. It's one of the first things you see if they go on their website. So there's really no reason for them to be doing this. They could be charging developers a lot more money to make sure that they could be doing the right thing. But they're not. They're cutting corners, and that's putting our aquatic life, human health and biodiversity at risk. According to Wales Online in 2022, despite pumping raw sewage into Welsh waterways 100,000 times in 12 months, 3 top executives took home performance-related bonuses of £930,000 930 to £100,000. Can you imagine performing so badly in any other job and making £250,000 bonus? You'd get fired, not get a bonus. It's absolutely absurd. On the website for Welsh Water, they state that in the eyes of the customer, the good sewage system should be out of sight and out of mind. It seems to me that what this means is they're going to continue to dump sewage and hide it. But we're on to them now, and we're not going to stop calling them out until something is done about it. They also state that sometimes blockages and faults occur and that they aren't able to prevent them, and they need us to help them to tell them about it. Now, just last week, a sewage pump right underneath the River Taff burst up near Ponty, Treforest kind of area, and it was like gushing out sewage for days. Welsh Water eventually came out to fix it, and then it burst again the very next day. And I don't know if it's still going now or not, because that was just like a couple of days ago. But you know, that's on top of what they are intentionally discharging, just letting it go, you know, not really worried about it at all. Ofwat, who are the Water Services Regulation Authority, did a report in 21 and 22, and they rated Welsh Water as one of the worst performing water companies. Shocking. It's really shocking. So there's a little bit of information for you there about why we're here, why the Dirty Water campaign exists. And before I pass over to Ian, who's going to give us a little bit more information, we are here today to unveil our wonderful plaque to Welsh Water, which highlights exactly how bad the problem is. Can I please invite Ian up to speak again? Ian is another local resident and somewhat of a self-appointed expert on the sewage systems, so he'll give us a little bit more information.
Thanks, Pippi, that was great. Morning, how are you doing? I've said somewhat what I was going to say. I've already said it, but I'll have another go. Because it's pretty simple to me. The only reason there's life on this beautiful planet is because of water, then trees, and then oxygen. The trees started the oxygen. It was nothing to do with human beings. We're just a little small part of this wonderful and complex adventure. So why do we let such disreputable forces destroy it purely for money? Because this is what this is all about. The sewage goes down the River Taff into the sea to save money for developers and Welsh Water. Welsh Government refused to legislate to take their powers seriously. Welsh Water refused to be open and honest. We've tried to talk to them specifically about Hailey Park, and they send out their PR merchants and they refuse to talk to us. Welsh Water exclude the communities very effectively. They've been doing it for decades. Welsh Water basically work for the developers, and they're proposing at the moment to make things worse before making them better. NRW, Natural Resources Wales. They've been made into a puppet organisation of the Welsh Government. There are caring individuals within NRW, but they're powerless to stop this. They do not have the power. That's been taken away from them by Welsh Government. Cardiff Council currently again are using fake data to back up their proposed local development plan, which will mean tens of thousands of more houses that will be built around here, such as Plasdor, without any additional sewage treatment requirements. The sewage in times of storms will go into the tap. Cardiff Council are enabling the destruction of the last remaining areas of nature, and they profit from the developers' profits. The Developers abuse a broken planning system and they profit from the destruction of our land, air and water. And there are dozens, if not hundreds of consultants with their noses in the trough, their snouts in the trough, again, reliant on Welsh Government and Cardiff Council to keep the broken system going. We are nature, we have to stop them. Thank you.
I don't think I need to stand on the box. So I live on Forest Farm, which is just up the road from here. I've lived there for 20 years. So I feel very privileged to live here. Actually, it's a beautiful place to live and there's lots of wildlife all around us. We walk around it on a regular basis, you know, we see the herons and the kingfishers, all sorts. And it's an absolutely delightful place to live. And in walking around, there have been occasions some years ago where you smell the sewage, particularly up by the Taff Snail, you know, the sort of little mural on the box, and a bit further on by the bridge. And I'd never really thought much about it. And as years went by, I retired. So I've lived there for 20 years. I started to realise what was actually going on. Lots and lots of sewage is pumped into the river on a regular basis. And of course, living on a floodplain of this river, sometimes you have to face the realities of climate change too. When that river comes up and floods as it did in 2020, I was surrounded. I was living on an island. My next door neighbour had to be hauled out through the window because she couldn't open her door because her house was over a metre deep in water, in flood water. And the filth and the smell that was left behind in her house was, and the three cottages altogether actually, was pretty horrific. So what we see on a regular basis now is it's just getting worse. The smell is getting worse, the amount of sewage is getting worse. And I think that it's actually only with people coming together like this and collectively being heard that we can actually make a difference. I mean, it's fascinating at the moment what's happening in the football world, if I'll call it that, when somebody speaks up and challenges the government directly and they just go totally over the top. So I'm going to take the opportunity, actually, as I've been given the microphone, to encourage everybody to come to London on the 21st. Of April. You all shouted, so I thought I'd wait until you calmed down before I say it. But thank you for the reminder. Yes, the 21st of April. At the moment, we're looking at about 20,000 people have signed up to come to London on that day. You can stay for a few hours, you can stay for a few days, you can stay forever if you like. But that's the way to get our voices heard. And this particular demonstration, this protest here, is about the same things. We have common cause. So come and join us. Thanks.